Hey everybody, it's Don, and today I want to share with you the ultimate secret to passing any job interview. I mean, we all know how important it is to perform well in the interview, so let's jump right in and explore these top tips together. First, let's talk about creating a strong foundation with a solid resume and a cover letter. You see, it's so important to have an effective and well-polished application so that it highlights your skills and experiences so that in a way that it's related to the job description. And this is your chance to make a great first impression with your potential employer. And to do that, what you want to do is be concise on your resume and focused. If you have a 2 or 3 page resume, get it down to 1 or 2, and then highlight your most relevant skills and experiences as they're related to the job description, and then take those statements and put them at the top of your resume. Put them near the top and create like a professional summary section. So that's one of the first things that they read, and they can see all of your skills that are related to what they're looking for, and they don't have to read through your entire resume. And then make sure that you use action verbs to describe your accomplishments. You don't want to start your resume off with a bunch of job descriptions, style statements, I did this or I did that. You want to use some strong action verbs that really, help them get a feeling for what you've done, like managed. I managed a team of people. I developed a team of people. I developed an application, whatever. Words like that you want to use, and they're going to make you sound and look a lot better on paper. And then you want to format your resume and your cover letter so that it's neat, so that it's professional, and that it's not like cutesy, and that it doesn't have like really teeny tiny fonts. I know some people like to cram, 4 pages of content on a 1-page resume and use an 8-point font. Your resume should probably be around an 11-point font with maybe 3/4 inch margins. And whatever those translate to, my friends who use the metric system, you'll have to figure those out. I work in inches. And then the next thing you want to do is proofread all of those documents so that you don't have any errors. Google Docs does a great job of that, but I don't send anything out that's important that I don't go over every single word myself or have someone else do it for me. And you see, this strong foundation, setting this right now is totally going to improve your chances for the interview. So you want to make sure that you spend adequate time perfecting your resume and your cover letter. Okay? Next thing you want to do is research and prepare before your interview. And so many people don't do this. And you see, by understanding the company and the job description, the mission, the vision is going to better equip you to answer all of their questions. So when you're researching the company, go to their website, learn about their mission, learn about their vision, learn about their values, and you can simply just Google, whatever, the name of the company and their mission statement, and it'll take you right to their page. And that way you'll get an understanding for what's important to them. And that's really what those mission and vision statements are. And then see if you can find some news articles on them or press releases, and maybe you can discover something about their competition. Maybe you can discover, some new things that they're coming out with, whatever. But just get familiar with them. And then look for information about their competitors. And their competitors might have some good or bad things to say about them. I mean, they might be doing something bad that, is affecting the environment. Maybe it's a place you don't want to work. I don't know. But look it up. And that way you can ask those questions in the interview as well. And then research the job description so you can understand what is important to them. That way you can review all the responsibilities and qualifications. And what I like to do to find out what's most important to them is I look for repeating patterns in the job description. When they start repeating things but saying it a different way, like maybe they might say, management, they might say leadership, they might say coaching, they might say mentoring. All those words are very similar to each other. So when they start using a lot of different words to describe the same thing, that means it's important to them. So you want to brush up on those areas. And this preparation can really help you feel so much more confident during the interview. So do your homework. All right, the next thing I want you to focus on is mastering your skills. And start by working on your communication skills and practice common interview questions. This will help you feel so much more comfortable during the interview. And I have something here that will actually help you with that. This book, this is actually a free book you can get from jobinterviewtools.com/top10. And this covers a lot of the common questions, and it shows you how to answer them. And it's going to give you some tips for doing that, and that's going to help you just be a lot stronger, a little bit more on point in the interview. So review common questions, And things like, tell me about yourself. You should have a good answer for that. And why do you want to work here? And one of my favorites to ask is, what are you looking for? I mean, that one usually hits people just, like a ton of bricks when they say, so what are you looking for? And people are like, oh, I don't know. So you want to know what you're looking for in a job. And that's because they don't want you. They don't want you working there unless they have what you're looking for. It's as simple as that. Make sense? And then the next thing you want to do is when you're practicing your questions and your answers, and I'm sure you're going to write them out, but don't read it from a script. So don't pick up the paper and read that while you're practicing your answers, because that's never going to hardwire them into your memory. You want to practice them out loud without reading from a script, or you can do it with a friend or something, if you have a friend who's willing to listen to you for all that. And then another thing I like to do is record myself answering those questions. That way you can go back and you can identify areas for improvement. And then you always want to tie your experiences into your responses. So you don't want to just answer questions, you want to pull from your experience to answer those questions. And then it's also important that you understand what your strengths and your skills are as it's related to what they're looking for in the job. So be sure to showcase your value to the interviewer by sharing your achievements and experiences. And this is going to set you apart from other candidates, and it's going to make you stand out. So to do that, what you want to do is make a list of your top strengths and skills. And maybe you're thinking, Don, I don't know what my skills are. I don't know what my strengths are. Ask somebody, ask a coworker, ask a friend, say, hey, what are some of my top strengths? They might have a different list than you. And then what you want to do is share some specific examples of how you've used these strengths in your previous roles. And that's going to help you answer questions, using the STAR method, where they want you to talk about a situation, a task, an action, and a result. And it's just going to allow you to be a little bit more on point with what they're looking for. And then be confident when you're discussing your accomplishments, because if I sat back here and said, well, one of my greatest accomplishments was, creating this, brand new program or this brand new device that saved lives. That's boring. You want to say, what? I created this new device, and what it allows to do is help people, live longer lives. Be excited about your accomplishments. Be humble, but be excited about them. And that's going to add so much more body language and emphasis to what you're saying. And they're going to be like, wow, I like this guy, or I like her. And then moving on here, don't be afraid to mention areas where you need to grow. Because obviously not everybody is going to be a perfect candidate. So if there's some areas where you're a little bit weak at, don't be afraid to say, hey, these are some areas that I'm weaker at, but, here's the things that I'm doing to, get polished in this area. And that's going to show them that you have a willingness to improve yourself. And you see, having this positive mindset can really just work wonders in, overcoming your interview nerves, because that's one of the things that really gets a hold of people. And they get nervous in the interview because they feel that maybe the interviewer is going to discover something about them. Maybe they're going to discover a weakness. But if you bring those things to the surface and you're willing to talk about them, voluntarily, it makes it so much easier to overcome those nerves. So try to cultivate a real positive attitude and outlook before your interview. So to do that, visualize yourself succeeding in the interview. That is so powerful. And one of the things I like to do is I like to visualize myself all the time. So I might be just taking a walk in the neighborhood or the park. I'll see myself, accomplishing this or accomplishing that, or doing whatever it takes to get done whatever it is I'm working on. And then another thing you want to do is practice some deep breathing and relaxation techniques to calm your nerves. Now, you do this before the interview, not while you're in the interview. And then focus on your strengths and your accomplishments. And don't dwell on your weaknesses. I don't bring up weaknesses in an interview unless they ask for them. And I won't bring up weaknesses where they're things that I'm weak on, but maybe that I'm not doing anything about. I'll bring up some weaknesses and say, hey, these are some areas I'm weak on, but these are some of the things that I'm doing to overcome those weaknesses. And then remind yourself that you are qualified for the job. I mean, think about it. They wouldn't have called you for the interview if they didn't think on some level you were qualified. So use that to kind of, build yourself up as well. And remember, when you have this positive mindset, it can really help you succeed in any job interview. So remember, a positive mindset can help you succeed in any job interview. The next thing you want to do is demonstrate and show genuine interest in the company and the positions. So you want to express your enthusiasm, and you do this by asking thoughtful questions during the interview. This is going to help you build rapport. And so to do that, prepare questions ahead of time about the company, about the role, about the team, the accountabilities, and then be engaged and attentive during the conversation, because it is a conversation. Don't just sit there and answer their questions. It needs to go back and forth for it to work. And this is going to show them that you're listening and you're interested in what the interviewer has to say. And then discuss any personal experiences or connections that you have to the industry. Personal connections can be so powerful. Like you might have a personal reason for wanting to work for this company. Maybe they make life-saving medical devices, and maybe one of your family members or a friend was saved by one of these devices, and so you're like, I really feel connected to you guys, and I want to help continue with your mission. All right. And then the next thing you want to do, maintain a positive and enthusiastic tone throughout the interview. If you're just sitting back there and I'm on a tone of voice, or talk, answer questions, that's just not going to cut it. So, raise your voice, lower your voice, talk softer, talk louder, talk faster, talk slower. Be enthusiastic about what they're doing, because they only want to hire people who are enthusiastic about what the company is doing and where they're going. And you want to show that. So showing this genuine interest and enthusiasm is really going to help you pass any job interview. That's going to set you apart from everybody else. And then after the job interview's over, it's so important that you send a strong thank you note. And this is going to leave your interviewer with a positive impression of you. And generally, I like to suggest sending those, within the same day or, 24 hours at the most. And this simple gesture can really improve your chances of success by demonstrating that, you're still interested in the job, you're excited about what they're doing, and you appreciate their time. So to do that, write your note. Write a thank you letter note, and do it before you have the interview. Just have it all planned out. So that way when you get home, you can just click send, maybe change a couple of things and then hit send. And I actually have some other videos on how to write a thank you letter. Just search through my channel, or maybe I'll put those in the description below. And then you want to make sure that you personalize each thank you note where you mention some specific details from the conversation that's going to pull the interviewer back into the interview, and it's going to make them remember that the conversation that you guys had. And then you wrap it up by reiterating your interest in the position and restate your qualifications. And then keep your note concise and in a professional tone. You don't want to send somebody a big, long thank you note. You want to keep it short and sweet, because that way it gets read. The big ones, they don't get read. People are just too busy. They don't have time to sit there and read through your long, boring thank you note. It might, it might mean well, but people just don't have the time. And this strong thank you note can really help you solidify your chances, and it's going to leave them with a positive impression so that, they remember you. And there you have it, my friend. That is the ultimate secret to passing any job interview. So to recap, develop a solid foundation with a strong resume and a cover letter. Research and prepare for the interview. Master your interview skills, showcase your unique value, adopt a positive mindset, demonstrate genuine interest and enthusiasm, and then follow up with a thank you note. And when you apply all of these strategies consistently during all of your job interviews, they're really going to help you excel in your interviews. And remember, the more you practice, the more you prepare, the more confident and successful you're going to be. And here's the thing. I've just dumped a lot on you. Now, you might go out there, you might kind of dabble and try some of these things and say, well, it didn't work, I didn't get the job. This stuff takes time, it takes practice. You have to work it into your routine, and you can't just dabble with it. You need to master it. I mean, if you want to get a job that's paying, $100,000 or $200,000 a year, you need to master these techniques. And when you do that, I still can't guarantee you're going to get the job, but I can guarantee that you're going to be a top contender for any job that you apply for, and you're really going to be a standout candidate. But even still, even the very best of the candidates, they still miss out. But what keeps them going? They keep applying these same principles over and over and over and over again. And then bam, sooner or later they hit it and they got the job that they want, making serious good money. All right, my friend, that is all I have for you. If you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up. If you have some stories to share about some things that you've done in your interviews or any of these techniques that you applied that worked or didn't work, let me know. I'd love to hear about it. And then subscribe. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye now.